If AC frequency was a motorcycle, 60 hertz would be a Harley, and 300 hertz would be a Ninja. Hey, in just a second, we're going to get into comparing 60 hertz to 300 hertz. But first, a quick story. There's a few times in my life that I look back, decisions that I made to invest in myself that paid off huge. Looking back, I can see that. And one of which was deciding to buy my first TIG welder. This is back around 94. It was about $2,500, syncrowave 250. And I remember sweating it and thinking, man, that's a lot of money. But I look around and I see some of my friends buying boats and buying motorcycles with a tax return. And I'm thinking to myself, man, why are you sweating this so much? You know this machine's going to make you money. I swallowed hard. I pulled the trigger. I bought the syncrowave. So I started doing these aluminum parts. I took out a loan to buy that machine, just kind of so it would put me under the gun to do work and actually pay that loan off. Well, I paid it off in just a few months. Part of the reason I was able to start a website, start a YouTube channel, start an online store is buying that first TIG welder. That's how big it paid off for me. One more thing, we'll get into welding. The syncrowave was an old transformer style machine, locked into 60 hertz, worked great though. The welder I'm using today welds at 60 hertz or 300 hertz. And if I were starting a side hustle today, this would be a great choice. We'll be welding 1/8 inch thick 6061 aluminum. I'll be plugged into the wall using the pigtail adapter, 115 volt power. Also running the water cooler, which is plugged into the back of the machine. 5356 filler metal, 1/16 diameter. I set the machine to 115 amps, but I'm using a foot pedal. And I set the AC frequency for this first joint 60 hertz. 60 hertz is what we're accustomed to seeing from the older transformer style machines. Listen to that hum. It's pretty easy to listen to. We're going to compare this to 300 hertz in just a few seconds. I'm using 1/16 filler and a 1/16 electrode here, mainly because I am running off 115 volt power. I wasn't completely sure that I wouldn't pop a breaker. I've done quite a bit of testing on this and I always come up with the same answer. In fact, I did this little test here where I started out at 60 hertz. This is only about 50 thousandths thick aluminum. Then I went on up to 300 gradually. And at the end, you can see quite a difference in the bead profile on the surface. But the penetration side, what really tells the tale. You know, it did not even penetrate, even though it's only 50 thousandths thick at 300 hertz. No trouble penetrating at low frequency, even though the piece was warmer at 300 hertz. But higher frequency settings do help focus the arc, and I like to use them, like on this 050 corner joint. So now let's increase the AC frequency all the way up to 300 hertz. Now keep in mind, I'm still plugged into 115 volt power, and the water cooler is still running off the machine, running at 115 amps, roughly. I'm using the foot pedal, so I'm not sure I'm completely full pedal all the time. When you're welding at high frequencies like 300 hertz, part of the equation is wearing earplugs. Not only is this annoying to listen to if you're welding for long periods of time, but it's not good for your ears either. You're going to lose some hearing. It seems to me that it's more consistent. It's actually, seemingly anyway, wanting to make my travel speed go a little quicker. It's staying, kind of sticking where I put it. The bead's not varying much in width. And there's a difference here. 100% a difference. I just don't know if I want to listen to that humming high-pitched whine all day. But this is making me think I should be a little bit more open to using higher frequencies and just put the earplugs in. For right now, PrimeWeld welders are in stock. Let me show you how you can get a free download workbook. This is the PrimeWeld 325 manual. A pretty darn good manual. I mean, it's got color images, good instructions, but a manual is a manual. What if there was a PDF file that had several concise, short videos walking you through setting up the machine, and then also teaching you what each setting does and how to get the most out of each setting in clear, concise language? What if that was a thing? I just wrapped up this shortcut guide to TIG welding, PrimeWeld edition. It is ready for download and it's free. You'll see clear arc shots along with simple explanations explaining what each control does and how to get the best results for both steel and aluminum. The way to get the guide, click the link that's somewhere around this video. This is a free download. You will have to enter some information first. Click the link that you'll see around this video, download the guide, and if you are interested in a PrimeWeld 325 or 225, just go to my store at weldmonger.com to learn more.